G'day, Jess Skarratt here, and thanks for tuning in to another session of Surfing Australia TV. Now, before we launch into our first segment, here's a teaser of what's in store. "17-year-old surfing sensation Tyler Wright recently held her first Surfing Australia Pro Surfer Camp. And after putting a bunch of eager grommets through their paces, she reckons the future of female surfing in our country is in very safe hands.
All the girls reacted like they were a little bit shy at first, but I think in the end they kind of, got used to us being around, which is good. I'm stoked that I, pass on some of the stuff that I've learned that's helped me out through, through my career. So it's a real pleasure to pass on some of that stuff. Turned up and the girls were already out there surfing and they were ripping out there. They came in, did a little introduction and...
Everyone, welcome to the Tyler Wright camp. We have Tyler Wright just here on my left. Tyler Wright's very easygoing and friendly, so don't be shy of asking questions and stuff.
The bottom turn, I think, is the most underrated thing in surfing. We're always looking at the top of the wave, but everything comes from your setup, and that's how I look at it. So I gotta get that drive off to the bottom to get that turn out of the pocket. So the better the bottom turn, the better the top. I gave them a few tips and then they went back out and worked on a few things. We're at Hastings Point right now and the girls have just been out for a surf and they just come in and we're going to head back and watch some video and see what they can improve on. Head back to the HPC Centre, watched their surfing once and then we went back through it and Chelsea Samba went through it and they're really good coaches, they're so on it, picking up everything.
You're turning your shoulder, which is really good, and you're looking.
Yeah, the upper body's really good.
Yeah, look how much spray.
You've got the rail in and everything really good.
You could pretty much hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it was and how focused they were on watching themselves surf and, listening to Chelsea and Samba about, what they could improve on. Instead of coming out and doing like a carve, he'll come up and throw it up and then hit the lip to get up vertical. And it's just perfect. You got camps like these and you got mixed camps and on camps and it's just all a kid could ask for when they're growing up and wanting to learn more. Half the time we're surfing 1 foot jump, pretty much. So and we in every competition it's rarely good. They're coming to these camps and they're wanting to learn and wanting to pick up new stuff.
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been so much fun seeing all the girls and pity we couldn't surf with Tyler, but it's been great to meet her.
Over the years, you've watched Chelsea and I think she was the very first one, to really start to push it. And then you had Steph, who was always on Chelsea's heels and he's still really young, but in the next, say, 6-7 years, I reckon some of them could be on tour. I think the future of women's surfing is in good hands.
If you want more info on the Pro Surfer camps or anything to do with the Hurley Surfing Australia High Performance Centre, just head to our website.
Soundwave Australian Junior Surfing titles are back bigger and better for 2012. Soundwave and Surfing Australia have brought together the best junior surfers in our country to battle it out for this year's national title. It'll be state against state and mate against mate, as all the action goes down this year from the 1st to the 8th of December, Nabina, Tasmania. So check AustralianJuniorSurfingTitles.com for all the details, daily updates and results. The 2012 Soundwave Australian Junior Surfing Titles. Rocking out with Soundwave and Surfing Australia.
More than 500 surfers from all over the country poured into Port Macquarie in New South Wales to compete in the Australian Surf Festival supported by Essential Energy. The event featured national titles in 5 disciplines, and we were there on the ground to capture all the action.
Australia. To surfers across the globe, its 37,000 kilometre coastline is regarded as some of the best surfing territory anywhere in the world. Situated on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, Port Macquarie's location is blessed with some of the most consistent surf on the east coast of Australia throughout the year, and was an obvious choice for the 2012 Australian Surf Festival supported by Essential Energy.
Yeah, howdy folks, welcome along. Well, the 2012 Australian Surf Festival, supported by Essential Energy here in Port Macquarie, has been a resounding success. We have just gone up and down the coastline. We've had, really utilised all the breaks here in the region. We've been down to Diamond Head, where the back beach coughed up some real good waves in that big south swell that we dealt with at the start of the festival. We went down into Shelley Beach. We've also utilised Middle Rock and North Haven, where the waves have just been incredible across 5 genres of surfing.
This mammoth 2-week event, which ran from the 11th to the 25th of August, saw over 500 surfers competing for 31 national titles.
Of course, we kicked off the festival with the Australian longboarding titles. Some outstanding performances there from all states of Australia. That sport is really going ahead in leaps and bounds, as is the stand-up paddleboarders, and we just saw a brand new level of riding in that genre.
With a new stand-up paddleboard racing component involving a technical race and marathon added this year, participation in the event has grown to epic proportions.
Some of those guys were doing big aerials on those stand-up paddleboards and just blowing away the crowd.
Spectators and competitors alike witnessed the largest cross-section of surfing disciplines in the Southern Hemisphere compete, all with the goal of taking home a prestigious Australian title.
And of course, we finished off with the shortboard guys. We had a stellar field of some of Australia's best surfers assemble here. All in all, around about 500 competitors, including the single fins and the alayers. So we've covered everything here, folks. It's been incredible. Port Macquarie is such a beautiful part of the coastline.
Out of the water, the entertainment continued. The festival hosted the Nikon Surf Photo of the Year Gallery and live music at the Town Green Inn, a surf swap meet, Surfing Australia education courses, a Harley-Davidson Australia online competition, and the Essential Energy Indigenous Surfing Program.
So many beaches to choose from and so many things to do outside of the competition is, just some of the reasons why the Australian Surf Festival has come here to Port Macquarie, and we look forward to doing it bigger and better again in 2013.
More than any other festival, this year's event held in Port Macquarie was a true celebration of Australian surfing culture and offered something for the young and old, both on and off the water. The 2012 Australian Surf Festival, supported by Essential Energy.
People passing by.
We always wanted to surf, but didn't know how. Then Mum found out about Vegemite surf grums.
You get an awesome Quicksilver pack
We learn all about the ocean and catching waves, and they have the best instructors. It's like, woohoo! Anyone can do it. Party wave? So give it a go. Just go to surfcoms.com to join.
I want to be the best I can be, and there's no better high than pushing myself and my surfing. For me, surfing is everything. I can't imagine not having surfing with me for the rest of my life. Don't let drugs destroy your future.
Key stakeholders in the future of Australian surfing gathered on the Goldie for the 3rd Green Room Conference. Now, the event brought together some of the sport's leading authorities to enhance the knowledge of coaches, surfers, team managers and other members of the surf industry.
Enjoy today. I just want to thank our principal partner, the Australian Sports Commission, our major Green Room supporter, this program, Connecting Southern Gold Coast, and thanks to Jim and his team. Other sponsors of today, Hurley, Suncorp, Coastal Watch, Travel Sim, Streetboards and Surfing World.
Look, he's a 1988 world champion. He was good enough to be the best of the best in an era that was one of the best in history. He's one of the statesmen, a legend truly, and a statesman of surfing, Mr. Barton Lynch.
I'm going to say that meant a lot to hear Rabbit say that, because they were some challenging times, and it was people like Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew and Sean Thompson who sort of inspired me. I looked at the way they represented their sport and felt an obligation to do the same. And I've been involved with streetboards since about 2004, or that surf-specific skateboarding style of training surfing. In surfing, the hardest thing is to actually get that repetition, clock up enough time on your board to actually improve at the same level as you can, say, skateboarding or snowboarding. And that's what the opportunity lies here in the streetboard, is that you can get that repetition.
I suppose over the last 10 years, or since I've been involved with the sport, longer than that, it's coaching has evolved so much, and the concepts of a surfer travelling with a coach and having a physical therapist and all of those things that sort of combine to enhance performance.
He's one of Australia's greatest swimmers of all time. Please let me introduce Mr. Grant Hackett.
I guess what I'll talk a little bit about today is some of the disciplines that I instilled. From the very bottom, coming up all the way through the ranks into the open ranks, and then coming, I guess, competitive on the global stage. I'm a big believer that when it comes to success in any field, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's something like politics or sport or being in the corporate world, that the fundamental principles of success and the behaviours of success are exactly the same. It's the application, the discipline, getting the right team around you, and just having that self-belief that you can actually take yourself to that level. Like this sport, like surfing, and I'm a big fan of surfing. I grew up surfing obviously here on the Gold Coast. I was bloody hopeless, but I loved it. I was goofy because I'm so freaking tall and I had limbs everywhere. But like surfing, it's very much an individual sport when you're out there competing. But everything about it is team to me. The only time you're individual is when you are competing. Because I think it's just as important as an athlete to get everything out of the coach as the coach gets everything out of the athlete. So you look for the best in every single field. You don't compromise anywhere. Because if you compromise somewhere, that compromises your performance. You have to have the best team around you.
This whole program, the Green Room Conference, is fantastic to get all the coaches and the kids that have come. I think it's really good to get everyone in the same room and hear different theories about what's going on. I think the most amazing thing, though, was listening to Grant Hackett talk about what it takes to win a medal in the Olympics. I mean, I'm nearly 60 years old, and I was inspired to walk out the door and start training for the ASP Masters. This Green Room Conference is by far, there's nothing like it in the world.
The world's best surfers ride them, and now you can too. Surfsim.com is giving you the chance to win your very own custom DHD surfboard. Surfsim.com offer great deals on travel sims. Travel Sim are the experts in prepaid global roaming and are the smart way to use your mobile phone when travelling overseas. So surf the net to surfsim.com now for your chance to win your DHD board, and remember Travel Sim for your next trip.
Does your cutback need work? Do you want to learn how to do aerials? Or do you just feel you could surf a whole lot better? Take your surfing to the next level with help from www.surfcoach.com. Surfcoach.com is an interactive website to help improve your surfing. The site isn't just for competition surfers, but any surfer who just wants to do a better turn, learn a new move, or simply be more confident whenever they enter the ocean. Visit www.surfcoach.com now to find that edge you've been looking for.
So the reason we use the street boards is because biomechanically and technically they reproduce the style and the technique that you need for surfing perfectly. And from my experience, they are the best cross-training tool for surfing that there is. If you're sliding out with the looser springs and you go onto the stronger, tighter springs, you can put more force and more effort into the turn and you won't get that slide out. So as your power increases, you can go up in the range or the stiffness of spring and continually challenge yourself.
I'm here to demonstrate the super hydrophobic qualities of the nanotube speed coating. And so basically what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to shake these two bottles up here, and what you see is the nanotune which has been coated just drips straight away, and this is an untreated side, which you can see here is still all the water is stuck to the side. So with paddleboarding, and what I like to do with the paddleboarding, if that's a 1% or 2% difference over a 5-hour race, that could be the difference between 5 minutes or 10 minutes being in front or behind. So, saying the Molokai Channel, you could try and get on a bump which is going to project you 100 metres, and if you don't quite get that, that's 100 metres that you lose, and you're never ever going to get to catch up. So with the nanotune protection on the bottom of your board, you are going to get that projection, you are going to get the glide, which in turn is going to get you to the end of the race faster. So this is the pre-tuner. Basically, I'm just going to spray the board lightly here. And here we are just rubbing on nice and light. Circular motion, not too hard. So now step 2, the most important part of the nano-tuning process, which is the speed coating. So basically what you do, get this light coating over half the board at the start, and you've got to shake it actually. Shake it really good, because that what the shaking does, you get all the nanoparticles moving and gets onto your board. So now basically just a nice even circular motion. I like to hit the rails, also the fins, because any surface that's hitting the water, you want to get the maximum performance out of it. Even nano tune the fin. JM Futures there. Great thing about this is the process only takes a few minutes and your board is nano-tuned and ready to fly. The simple two-step process to nano-tune your board takes less than 2 minutes. I guarantee the results will be amazing. For a one-time application, check out the Nano Speed Wipe. They're rad. If you want to go faster, fly higher, land smoother and glide further, make sure your next board comes factory nano-tuned. I'm Jamie Mitchell, reminding you to stay tuned.
The Surf Coach Junior Kira Teams Challenge is regarded as the world's largest junior interclub surfing teams event. 130 plus surfers from 17 board riders clubs in New South Wales and Queensland competed in the inaugural comp. And let me tell you, the talent that was on show, amazing.
The Junior Kira Teams Challenge has teamed up this year with surfcoach.com to bring you one of the world's largest junior interclub surfing teams events. Here today we have 132 of the best surfers representing their club. What we're going to see is a showcase of the best of the best. This is a grassroots event. You've got 132 surfers here today. They've got their dads with them too. The dads are proud as punch to see their young bloke go out and win a heat for their respective club.
It's fantastic. They run an event like this for the kids. You know, they get to compete against kids, the hottest kids from the east coast of Australia. And being a teams event, no one actually loses their heat, you know, so it's a really good vibe for the kids. Everyone's committing to a team end, you know.
Definitely very lucky to have an event like this on the Gold Coast, close to home for us. It's a credit to them putting it on.
Like, how proud would you be as a father? Look behind you, that's what it's all about.
You get heaps better, but also it's really fun. Like, your other teammates and your team just keep pushing you and it's really good. Yeah, just some girls trying to have some fun, seeing if they can beat a couple of boys. Watch out, boys.
A big part of sponsoring this contest is not only to help the surfers, but it's also to spread the word that surfcoach.com can help any surfer anywhere in the world just by a few clicks on the internet. There's no right and wrong way to surf. You know, it's all about just going there and having fun. But if you want to be successful in surfing, there is a right way to do it. And what surfcoach.com does, it actually displays that visually.
At Kira Surf Rise, we felt we had an obligation to go back to the junior ranks of the clubs in Australia and give them a go out in the water.
There's less and less events these days as well, so this is great that we can be a part of an iconic event like this.
Other events have fallen over and gone by the wayside. Hopefully they come back, but for the local clubs to run something like this, it's a great incentive for the kids.
There are a lot of non-events basically, so we feel that we should put something together for these kids.
It just makes all these other events so much more important.
Hopefully that the major sponsors will step back on board and give these kids a go and a deserved right in life, their surfing life, to make a career of it. North Narrabeen and Merewether have never ventured to the Gold Coast in representation of the junior contingency of their club.
There's sort of real camaraderie in the club and the kids appreciate it as much as all the older guys do when the main Kira, the older Kira team styles on.
For them, it's not a mission, it's a pleasure for them to come here and see what's on offer.
Teams events are the backbone of surfing, and that's where the pro surfing came from originally, I think.
They're everything, really. They started me surfing, so got me into the competition side of things, so all good, like, love it.
Well, it's more a grassroots sort of thing, and that's why it is focused on surfers and young surfers going forward, you know?
The harmony, the vibe, the grassroots of the event, it's there, you know. This is Australia.
It brings people back to the real world and how they are, how they started and how it's always going to be.
That's the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be. That's Mr. Hall.
Surfing Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are super passionate about supporting and getting behind women excelling at and involved in surfing. And today we're continuing on with our segment profiling some of these incredible girls. Now, Laura Enever, she is a girl on a mission to win a world title, and those in the know reckon she has what it takes. But enough from me, let's hear from her.
I'm Laura Enever. I'm from North Narrabeen on the northern beaches of Sydney. I'm 20 years old and this is my second year on the Women's World Tour. Surfing and competing as a living is what I've dreamt of doing ever since I was a little girl. To be here now, travelling the world, surfing the best waves on the planet, meeting incredible people and experiencing all these amazing cultures, it feels like I'm already winning. Surfing has already opened so many incredible doors for me in and out of the water. But right now that door I'm knocking on is definitely that world title. Being on tour, we travel so much and see so many amazing places, but my favourite place to be is definitely home. I'm not even here that much anymore, so it's almost like my holiday, and it's just so good to come home and be with my friends and family and just sort of relax and just be myself and just be home.
I can't believe that happened! I swear you saw me put a timer on. No, you put it on real so I can...
Hi, my name is Laura Enever and these are the chocolate tacos.
That's what elephant. Put them over, they're fine. Well, we're all out of time on today's show. Thanks again for tuning in with us. It has been awesome to have your company. If you want information on anything that you have seen on today's episode, just head to our website. And for all those savvy social media types out there, we would love you to hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Jess Skarratt. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for more Surfing Australia TV.